Poverty and inequality in middle-income countries is, as the title indicates, about this mix, the middle-income countries, and we are assessing policy achievements in these countries when it comes to combating poverty. We are also analyzing the political obstacles to obtain sustainable poverty reduction. I think the book is important for many reasons. First is that we try to make people aware of the fact that poverty in a way has migrated, not physically, but in terms of how we call the countries and how we understand the world. It's not anymore the low-income countries which have the bulk of the poor in the world. It's now the middle-income countries, and the main reason for that is that China, India, Nigeria, Indonesia, which before were categorized as low-income countries, have now migrated into the middle-income countries due to their immense economic growth for the last decades. The second reason why the book is important is that we show that although there have been a lot of poverty reduction just in terms of money, of monetary income, we look at the fact that poverty is multidimensional, and you can't reduce it to just having less than $1.25 a day as income. We really problematize the whole definition of poverty, and we also criticize the domination of the World Bank thinking that it's all about a very low level of monetary income. So we also suggest that relative poverty should be looked at as much as the so-called absolute poverty. And with relative poverty, we point at the fact that although many people maybe are not living in destitution, in awful conditions and in hunger, they are still poor, while the rich have become ever richer. So the fact that poverty remains and is still a huge problem, and it coexists with a very, very big increase in wealth of the country, but wealth concentrated in the hands of very few families. And so therefore poverty reduction has to go hand in hand with inequality reduction through domestic redistribution policies. I think that is the main contribution of the book, and our case studies from 3 continents show that there have been policy achievements, there have been progress in how the governments and the societies are addressing poverty, but there are so many political obstacles in terms of the power relations. The wealthy have too much political power, and the ordinary people, the ordinary poor people, they have too little power to influence policy making, and in particular to make sure that stated policies, who can be quite good in many countries, but these stated policies are really implemented and really benefiting those who they are supposed to benefit, namely the poor majority of the population. The book has contributions from researchers based on 4 different continents. South America, Africa, Asia and Europe. The editors are Julian May, he is based in South Africa. Emma Wright, she's English but also based mainly in the south and in South Africa. Marianne Ulriksen, she's from Denmark. And like Gemma, she is also based in Southern Africa for her work. And myself, I am Norwegian and I live in Oslo. The book targets everybody who are concerned with poverty and inequality. It's mainly about politics and policy making, but we think that every citizen should be able to read the book. Of course, we also hope that people who work with and for the poor in the civil society through social movements and civil society organizations and so on also read the book. The discussions, of course, are always healthy, and if it can bring in to a larger degree people who have up to now not been very active in policy making, we would be very happy.